So here are my top 3 wildest smears and slurs against LGBTQ Christians in the metropolitan community churches. First, in the book A Christian View of Homosexuality, a Baptist seminary professor named John Drakeford wrote that the MCC Church was originally called the Sodomy Church, but as it grew in strength, it sought a new respectability and changed its name to the Metropolitan Community Church. The MCC's founder, Troy Perry, called up the book's publisher and threatened to sue them and Drakeford over the lie. Second, Jerry Falwell, founder of the Moral Majority, preached that MCC members were brute beasts who belong to a vile and satanic system that will one day be utterly annihilated, and there will be a celebration in heaven. And when an MCC minister named Jerry Sloan called out Falwell for making these statements, Falwell simply denied making them, going so far as to offer anyone $5,000 if they could prove he did. And all that Sloan had to do was call the Moral Majority's toll-free number, request a copy of the tape, and then demand $5,000. Now, at first Falwell refused to pay, but then Sloan sued him, got the $5,000, and used that money to fund an LGBTQ community center. Third and lastly, Tim LaHaye, co-author of the Left Behind series and architect of the Christian right, claimed to have visited with his wife the MCC Church in San Diego, where, so he claimed, he watched a blonde woman in front of us, blowing into the ear of the dark-haired woman at her side and nibbling at her earlobe until she had the woman trembling. Now, you might be tempted to think that these wild and salacious smears and slurs were motivated by how different the MCC was from the churches of these anti-gay evangelicals, but the opposite is true. Tim LaHaye himself acknowledged that he first learned about the MCC when someone described it to him as an evangelical church for homosexuals. Meanwhile, John Drakeford called Troy Perry's theology fundamentalist and admitted that conservative attitudes about the Bible were prevalent in the MCC. Anti-gay evangelicals attacked the MCC not because it was so different from them, but because it was so similar. And apparently they would do whatever it took to obscure the reality that these gay and lesbian people were Christians like them. Much more on the MCC and its messy relationship with evangelicalism in my book, Born Again Queer, now available for pre-order.